presentation is called the new OneSearch User Interface, which I'm going to be calling UI for faculty, previewing the new look. Like I said, I'm Dr. Melissa Atkinson, Director of Distance and Online Library Services, and Avery Weems, my colleague in my department, Distance and Online Services Librarian, is here. She and Mark might be able to answer questions that I cannot, because they have been working on the background of this new interface. So in the user interface is basically the look and feel of OneSearch, so it's going to look different. The functionalities are going to be pretty much the same. It's just going to look a little different. Yes, feel free to put questions in the chat. The objectives for today, we're going to compare the classic UI, which is the current user interface that we're using today. I'm going to call it classic, and the new UI. We're going to preview the new UI, and that's the link right there. And I'll put it in the chat, or Avery, can you put that in the chat so you can follow along with me while I do a sample search?
Yes, I'll put it in the chat in just a second.
Okay. I'm going to do some sample searches so that I can show you the functionality and the new look. And then we'll have questions at the end, but you can also ask questions during the presentation in the chat. So I'm going to just have a little chart here about comparing the classic UI with the new UI. So in the classic UI, you needed a unique permalink to access the item details, and that did not go to the PDF. So in the new UI, you do not need a unique permalink to access item details. You'll just grab the URL in the browser, and you can actually use the browser URL to get directly to the PDF this time. And the same thing for saving search results or search terms. You need a unique permalink in the classic UI. In the new UI, you do not. You can just use the URL browser. In the classic UI, you had folders, and in the new UI, they're called projects. And we'll go over that when we preview the new one. And on the search results page, you had limits and filters, which were on the left. And then on the new search results page, the main language used is filters. The word limit is used sparingly, so it's all filters now, and they are at the top. In classic UI, a Pico search was not available except through outside databases. We have the TRIP database. But in the new UI, there is a Pico search available, and I'll show you how that works. In the classic UI, there's a mobile app. In the new UI, I think there is still a mobile app, but the browser has a mobile responsive design, which is really nice. And the classic UI didn't really have that, so I think that's a good improvement. So I am going to go back and click on the link here. So just so that you can see what the old UI looks like, this is what it looks like. You do a search, there's limits on the left, filters. And these are what the results look like. This is the new UI. So it looks a lot different. And I'm going to do a sample search. And so when I do the sample search, this is what the results page looks like. And all of the filters are up here at the top. And so our peer reviewed, these filters right here are probably the most used, so that's why they're prominent. You can do the all filters, and so this will give you some more filters to use, which are basically the same as what they were before. But you can actually just click right here on the peer reviewed. You can do your time. These are the three options here, but you can actually do custom time if you click on the all filters. The past 5 years is pretty popular. Let's see. Let me just go back to the all filters. There are, you can do filter by language here. And then let me show you the custom date right here. You can do a custom range. And then here is a new thing is you can keep your filters between searches, or you can move them between searches. The default is the keep filters between searches. So in the classic UI, sometimes when you did a search, some of the filters wouldn't stay when you did a new search, but this time they will stay if that's the default. And you can turn that off if you want. Um, so when you click on the PDF of an article, you can just grab this URL and that will be the link that you can share with others or email to yourself or something. Um, there's still the cite feature, which are these quote marks. And then you can add it to a project. I'll talk about that in a minute. You can share this, you can download it or print it. And then if you actually click on the title, then you would click on click on the URL to get back to this page. And that's what this item record looks like. And then you can save to a project, add to a project. So these are called projects now. They're not called folders. Um, so you can create multiple projects and add it to your projects. And the project's over here on the left. I haven't seen that message before today, so I hope I can still get to use this link in 5 minutes. Um, so you can edit your project, delete it. So I've been talking for a while now. So does anyone have any questions so far?
The
You know, I
APA,
have, oh, go ahead.
I was just thinking, the APA assistance for formatting references, is that still
Mm-hmm.
available through this?
Yes. It's here. You have to click on the little dots. So that's where the cite feature is, and then you have to choose which one you want from the drop down. So that's a little different than it was before.
And what you've shown us so far, Melissa, what do you think is the the biggest change that'll be helpful for our students, especially those doing research? Is it that PDF function that it's easier to get that
Well,
link?
the elimination of permalinks in general, I think, is the biggest. improvement, because I think, well, a lot of different libraries, academic libraries, I think have complained about that for the past 10 years or so. So I think they heard us.
That's
And
great.
they made it a lot easier. And another thing I wanted to show you on this results page were the Scopus. There is a link to Scopus on the classic UI, but in this new UI, you actually, let me see if I can find one. You actually, it tells you how many citations there are in Scopus for that particular article, which I think is really helpful. And then if the PDF is not there, you have to click on this access options. And then that's where the Check Journal Finder is. If you're not familiar with our system, Check Journal Finder is the first thing you do when we don't have the PDF immediately available. And so you check Journal Finder to see if there is a link on this next page. And this one happens to have a link under this column called article. And so that's the link you would click on to get to the full text. And you can also do alerts. You can do a journal alert or a search alert. Let me see if I can make a search alert with this search that I just did. Create alert over here. And then, yes, you can email it to yourself. Change that. And create alert. Something went wrong. Okay, okay. I'm not exactly sure why I had an error on that. Maybe Mark knows. Oh, you can change the frequency here. Oh, okay. I just had to do it again. Sometimes that happens. I might be kicked out in a minute. I don't know. So we'll see. So our publications link is a publications finder. I think it works pretty similar to what we have now in the classic UI. So let's do Journal of Business Ethics. And it'll tell you how to get access to that journal that we have in our databases. And then I was trying to see if I can find a journal alert here. I'm not finding it at the moment. I'll have to play around with that one. And if anybody has figured that out, let me know. And one thing that you might want to know, December 16th is when we are switching over to this new UI. So it will be live on the 16th. We will be having webinars for students. We're having one today at 7 p.m. for students and one on Thursday at 12 p.m. for students. And then we'll have another one in January on just exclusively on this new UI after it's been live for a little bit. Another thing you might want to know is for the let's see let's do. Okay, just have to click on the button. Um, journal, if you have current journal alerts or search alerts that you have saved, those will not be migrating over to the new UI. So you will have to recreate those manually. And I thought you might want to know that ahead of time. Also, if you have custom folders, those will not be migrating over until about April. So if you want all of your items to move with the migration on December 16th, what you'll need to do is put everything in your custom folder, put that in your main folder, which is called My Folder, and then everything will migrate over. But if you want to wait until about April for that to happen, you can also do that. Does anyone have any questions?
Melissa, we did have a few
Yes.
questions in the
Okay,
chat. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, let's see. The student webinar information, if that can be sent to the professors as well and the program directors so that we can get it out to students. Or how is it going to be this information gotten to grad and undergrad students?
So all of the the ones that we record, they'll be on the distance learning portal. I'll show you where they'll be. They'll be right here in this area. Hopefully, well, probably tonight's will probably be up tomorrow. And then the one on Thursday, hopefully it'll be up later that day. So that's where they're going to be. They will also live in our library tutorials videos page where the OneSearch page is. So they'll be in two places.
Could y'all maybe come up with an email or something that we could give to student services for students so they could have access to the training as well? Well, not that they don't have access here, but another way to communicate with
We
them
sent a
about it.
mass email to all of the students multiple times with the webinar
Super,
information in it. Yeah.
super. Thank you, Avery. They can get that email.
We can send it to you, Dina, and you can
Okay, that's great. I'll send it out to
send.
program directors.
Okay.
And I'll send this, Kathy, you had asked about this recording. I'll send this recording. I'll clean up the ends of it, and I'll send out the recording to all adjunct instructors and full-time faculty.
Thank you.
I think, yeah, we looked at the create alerts. I didn't figure out the journal alert, but I'll figure that out. We have the concept map is the same as it was in the classic UI. I don't ever use that, but I think it's helpful for some people. Just clicking on it. It usually has like a map. Oh, here's the map. That's what it looks like. But so that's the same. And then we haven't populated our supplemental sources very much yet. So look for more things here. If you want to do a new search, you just click on that. Gives you a new search. Oh yes, I was going to show you the Pico. So when you click on Pico, it has boxes for the population intervention, if you're not familiar with Pico, comparison outcome time. These last three are optional. So you need a population. So I'm just going to do a sample search here. Our intervention is, oops, animal assisted therapy. And then I'm going to put an outcome here. And then what this is basically doing, when you click on add to search, it's populating the search box with what you put in there. And then you can click on search. And then you can do all of your filters. So it's an easy way to build a search using the PICO method. And then these are the results. I do want to show you the responsive design. Let me see. Uh-oh, didn't mean to do that. All right. So I'm gonna just make this a little. Make this box smaller. We'll make it a little smaller. And it should respond. There it goes. So this is kind of what it would look like on like a mobile phone or something. So it's pretty easy to read that way. I think I've covered most everything I was going to cover today. So if anyone has any questions, more questions.
And
Is
I'm
there, if there,
assuming Melissa and Avery and Mark, if they have questions they think of after this presentations, they can email you and maybe even set up something with the class to go through something if they go through some of this if they'd like.
yes, you can email us at any time. Let me put in my email. I should have thought of that earlier. There we go.
Any questions, anyone?
Is there anything that you want to see that I didn't go over? And you can
Thanks, Amy.
email Avery. Avery put her email in the chat. I'll do that too.
I love the new interface. It really seems a lot easier to navigate. I like the filters at the top. Makes it a little bit easier to see and click on those and saving your filters. I liked that a lot as well.
Yeah, I think they took a lot of feedback and actually made something that's easier for the user.
Mhm.
Yes, the new interface is also better for screen readers and accessibility, and that's basically what they were focusing on when they started doing this new UI is accessibility.
Super. Well, we'll wrap up. Thank you, Melissa, Avery, and Mark, for all your help and your wonderful support of us and our students. And folks, feel free to email myself as well as the rest of our library representatives if you have questions about this or how we're communicating with the students. Abby, I was glad to see you here to help help us also communicate this to the students, but I think it's going to be a blessing all around. Thank y'all for coming and have a blessed day.
Thank you for coming.